Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Just for Fun Reviews. I'm your host Azzy, and with me is my boy Roy, and we're gonna be talking about episode 6. Oh shoot,
Yeah. Episode
episode
six.
6 of The Last of Us, titled Kin. So as per usual, we're going to be giving our impressions at the beginning. We're going to try and stay as non-spoiler as possible. Then towards the back end, we're going to be hitting up some spoilers. So we'll make sure to warn you at that point if you still haven't seen the episode. I know we're a little late. So with this episode, it's a 2-month jump from the end of the previous episode, and
I thought it was 3 months.
I thought it was 2, but nonetheless, a significant period of time has passed since the previous episode, and we finally get Joel and Ellie making some serious progress towards where they believe they might be able to find Tommy, and which starts with a bit of new stuff. Meeting a couple like native characters, which you gotta love their fucking energy. And
ain't much I can say about them. They was just there for that little quick moment.
Oh yeah, no, but you gotta love how just like absolutely zen they were the entire time. I was like, all right. Like, come on now. They could have been your cousins.
Maybe. I mean, shoot. They might as well be, because they were the main reason being out there so far, because they wanted to get away from people. And
but I love the little bit of world building that they kind of brought in with them, where they're like commenting on how any place that you would think would have people is just a no-go at this point. Like they even reference the reservation is too dangerous to be in. And I've only have experience with Halawasa Pony general area, but y'all are kind of rural, so the notion that even like a reservation is too dangerous in this post-apocalyptic setting is surprising, to say the least. But this is like a comfort episode. It felt like the Bill and Frank episode again.
A little bit.
There were tiny moments of excitement, but otherwise, this was like lulling me into like a false sense of security, because it's like this is like the preamble before horrible things happen.
Right, because we pretty much knew what was going on in the prior episodes. Like, after Henry and Sam, spoilers from last episode in the game, they died. We could pretty much like, well, we forgot what the fuck happens after that.
Yeah. And like honestly, if I try to think of the game when you finally encounter Tommy in the game, I feel like they were in like a forested area. It didn't seem like it was winter. This feels like solidly shifted into the wintry months.
I think in the game it was like kind of like early winter. It wasn't snowing or anything yet, but it's like it was cold enough to be like you can see your breath and stuff. And
oh yeah, not meant to be any kind of like nitpick. I'm just like I'm trying to visualize the moment that we ran into Tommy again, and it was like just felt different. But nonetheless, we got introduced to a very iconic location in The Last of Us, something that it makes a much bigger splash in the sequel, or the second video game as opposed to the initial one. And I gotta drop a name, since we don't often talk about the specific actors apart from Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal, because most of the other actors are in transit. But Rutina Wesley is the actress who plays Maria.
Shocking me, because I didn't know. First, I was like, okay, because it's been so long since I played the game. I'm like, what the hell is Maria? I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's Tommy's girl. And I'm like, oh, so they changed her for the shows, which I was like, okay, kind of cool.
I've been kind of crushing on her since I saw her in True Blood. She was one of my favorite characters from that show. She's still gorgeous. But Anyway, like I said, this was very much an episode meant specifically for world building. We got to see a glimpse of what society could become in the positive, which is a great juxtaposition from what we just saw in Kansas City. Is that right?
Yeah, Kansas City.
Where like the QZ was essentially like a third world country where the people that had the guns were basically just raping and murdering people, and then there's the violent revolution, and the revolutionary leaders are just as horrid because hurt people. Getting to see Jackson and see how a community could work in this situation, it's that tiny spark of hope, that like that last rest stop. It was like before venturing off back into hell. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I kind of wanted to just chill there.
I mean,
who couldn't see that and you're like, yeah, I could live there forever.
Yeah, I mean, this was the relaxed episode up until like maybe the last 5 minutes.
So, oh yeah, no, because eventually we all have to wake up from the dream. Yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah, because like I'm watching this episode and it wasn't like I was bored with it. I was just like, there's not a lot of whole, because I'm the action guy. I got to see somebody get shot or stabbed or see a whatever the infected in this. Didn't really see it in this episode, but it was like I said, a lot of story building between Joel and his brother.
Yeah. If I were to rate this episode just because of like the warm fuzzies that it gave me, I would give it like a solid 8. I really enjoyed it. Like, there wasn't a lot of action, but we, like, as a series, we don't really expect there to be consistent action in that sort of sense.
No.
Or like consistent suspense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll probably give it an 8 as well. I mean, like I said, because I was getting to the point where I was getting kind of bored with it. I was like, okay, I know where they're going with this. They're trying to build up the relationship between Tommy and Joel, and then Ellie doing her own little thing, and seeing the same lines from the game conversation with Joel and Ellie talking about loss and everything. I was like, okay, they kind of hit nail on the head with that one. But yeah, overall, it really started to pick up near the end, action wise.
Oh yeah, they know where to leave the episodes.
Which like I said, I predicted. I was like, they're gonna have to do one of these episodes with Ellie's little side story, which will be the next episode.
Oh yeah,
and
and
you in for a good one next episode.
I played the DLC, so I already know. I know this part. But what I like about it was that, like, originally that DLC didn't come out until after the game came out. So if you remember that point in the game, it continued on from there, and you didn't get that bit for Ellie until way later. This was the perfect moment. That was the perfect moment. And we'll get into it in the spoilers. That was the perfect moment to interject this prequel kind of story. But anyway, if you haven't seen the episode, from be forewarned, from this point on, we're gonna be talking spoilers for a hot sec. So again, if you haven't seen the episode yet, go ahead, go watch it, come back, see what we got to say about it. Okay? Get out. Anyway, I've seen side by side of Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey with how it was performed in the game by Ashley Johnson and frick, I'm blanking on his name. Troy Baker, of course. It's if it's not Matt Mercer, it's frickin' Troy Baker. And it was still really well. It was still really well done. Gotta fucking love it, man. And I don't remember. Help me out here. Once again, I need to rely on you because my memories of the game specifically are foggy. I don't remember Joel having like a breakdown moment with his brother, begging Tommy to take her. Did that happen in the game, or is that something that they did for the show?
I don't know. I don't remember that per se. Like I remember them meeting up, and then I don't know if he did try to pass her off to Tommy, because all I remember somewhat in the game where Ellie had overheard them talking about he like sounded like he was ditching her and she took off on one of the horses and found that house, and that's how that scene played out instead of just meeting in a random house.
That sounds familiar.
Because I think when Joel and Ellie in the game went to see Tommy, that's when I guess some raiders or something showed up, and then they duked it out, and it kind of messed. They since it's TV, they're not going to do that gameplay bit. That
yeah. I especially love when they were going on the tour and Maria was explaining how they ran things in Jackson. Joel makes the passing communist comment, and Tommy's like, "No, not like that." Maria's like, "Yeah, this is a commune. We're communists." Yeah. It's like, there we go.
Also, like the little nod they did to Last of Us 2, where they were eating and they showed supposedly Dina.
Yeah. Seeing how I've yet to play The Last of Us 2, that had to be pointed out to me. Thank you, social media. But that was cool though.
Because I was like...
I actually saw the clip from the game where Dina is teasing Ellie about how she was like shoveling food in her pockets and such. So yeah, that was pretty cool. They're gonna come up with the season 2, whether or not they use that actress or not.
They already confirmed it. They already showed the actress who's playing. Well, I don't know if she's gonna be coming back for season 2, but they showed the like supposedly actress for that little quick second flash. Because clearly, if you played the game, that looks identical to Dina. Maybe not the same face model actress they use, but damn near close.
But yeah, no, like Jackson was fucking awesome. Like the only thing they really didn't have was like the internet. Otherwise, they basically had reattained the society that had been lost for the past like 30 years. And the notion that they started the whole thing with 7 people and it ballooned to 300, you can't help but think that it's impressive. Not to mention them being so separated and off the beaten trail means that they don't really have to worry about. This is not The Walking Dead. There's not just like roaming herd of like fungal zombies to worry about.
Yeah. Little nods to Last of Us Part 2. Not really spoilers or anything like that.
We're in a spoiler section.
I mean, just saying, because when Tommy was talking about shooting an infected about half a mile out, and Joe was like, "You're bullshitting." He does that in the game. So he can actually shoot that far.
Were you surprised? Like, and again, this is fairly different from what we got in the game by my vaguest memory. Do you remember if Joel in the game immediately trusted Tommy with Ellie's secret, or was he more candid with his brother?
Like I said,
like in the show, the notion that they're separate, like they're isolated together. He has his brother by himself. This would have been a perfect opportunity if he didn't feel so weird and guarded about it to entrust him with that secret. But I guess like it was better executed that way.
Maybe like I said,
they've been living in this world for almost like 30 years. The notion that someone could possibly be immune could just come off as like someone being raving mad.
Yeah, well, not talking about Ellie being immune to the cordyceps or whatever you want.
Cordyceps, yeah.
Yeah. The fact that damn idea in my head and it fucking
how he lied about Tess?
No. It was on the tip of my tongue. About to say it and it just whoop.
That's okay. That's what editing's for. Take your time.
I mean, it's just like because there was a part where I was about to have some feels where Tommy pretty much is like, so since the world ended with you, mine didn't have to stop. Oh, that's what it was. And Tommy saying they've done bad stuff. That wasn't really mentioned in the game. It's like now it's very clear Joel has done some very bad things, have murdered people.
there's this unspoken like drama definitely between the brothers where Joel more than likely made some decisions that he thinks that Tommy is holding against him, and Tommy thinks Joel is holding on to rather than moving on. It's this weird kind of like if they just it's that typical like drama-esque situation where it's like if they just talked about it, they could probably both free themselves from this situation, but it's like a ghost that haunts them. And we're not just talking about Sarah, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have guarantee I probably if I was in this kind of situation, I would do some bad stuff to protect the people I love, you know. So
Oh, and I love the attention to detail where when it comes to the fact that now that Joel cares for Ellie, he's starting to have panic attacks. He's starting to overcompensate when it comes to night watches, claiming he was going to take both shifts, and obviously falling asleep and constantly, unless I'm wrong, constantly sleeping on the side where his deaf ear is up.
yeah.
And having the panic attacks, because like the big because they're definitely reinforcing the notion that Joel's biggest fear is failing to protect someone that he cares about. Ellie's biggest fear is ending up alone. But yeah, God, like I understand what you meant. How like maybe we spent a little bit too long in Jackson, but the performances and the emotion in this episode really pulled me in the same way that it did with the Frank and Bill episode. So I really like this episode. I can understand it like lingered for a bit too long, but it found the perfect spot to end on, and the perfect place to slip in that prequel story.
Yeah, because that's pretty much how it happened in the game.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like primarily our focus, our perspective is from Joel's perspective. And with Joel going unconscious, this is like this whole next episode could effectively be a dream for all we fucking know.
Yeah, because spoiler, we in spoiler territory. They ended off like Joel fucking died. Let you know, spoilers, he doesn't die. This time,
everybody knows he ain't dead.
This time around, but
it's like how many episodes are left? He ain't dead.
But yeah,
this is not Game of Thrones and not killing. And his name's not Sean Bean. Okay, he ain't dead.
He'll be recast by Sean Bean in the second season.
Oh no! That would be hilarious, though. It's like, why did they change out Pedro Pascal? It's like people who played the game. I know why.
But no, I almost got worried with this episode, almost a bit, because when they went to the university, the college, and everything, they saw the monkeys and shit. I was like, not do this giraffe in this episode. Mm-hmm. Do not do this.
Same. I'm like, wait, is this the giraffe scene?
I was like, no, I feel like that was. I don't know if that was. I think it was after.
I remember
after.
I remember it was in. I remember it was in like a cityscape that was flooded. It was that part in the game where Ellie had to get on a raft and be pushed by Joel because Ellie can't swim. That's the part that I remember, and it was not snowing. It was not winter.
Yeah, that's why I was like, no, you're messing up. You're about to mess this up. So glad they didn't do that. So episode, we got 9 episodes. Episode 8, that's gonna happen near the kind of like last 10 minutes of the episode, and then that's when they're gonna get captured by the fireflies, and then the last episode is.
Yep. I would say that's a good spot on prediction and a great place to end this one. So if you've seen the episode, what do you think about it? Drop a comment down below. Hit the like, subscribe, bell notification. Do the whole dibbly do if you want to keep seeing shit that we put out on the internet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Deuces.